Turkey, the Spaniards. I'm like, wait.
All right, let's try it again, fam. You might want to go out and come back in. I apologize for the system as it is. I tried to preserve it. It wouldn't allow me to preserve it, so I had to do everything over again. So here we go. What I will try to do is not repeat the things that I've just spoken about in the last video. You can't watch the last video because we removed it. But we're going to try to get started in a way in which is acceptable to you. So at this time, family, you can go out and invite everybody who was here, that was there. You can send them invites all over again, and we can move forward again. All right, can you log in and tell me if it's freezing?
It looks good. Even the picture is clear and everything.
All right, because on my end, it's not
Yeah.
centered.
But much clearer. Everybody,
Is it centered? Is it
Yeah,
centered?
you move right there. You good right there.
All right. So what we're going to do, family, is we're going to get back to the lesson. I apologize for the technical difficulty that we've been having. Sometimes these things happen so that they can try to prevent us from getting the lesson out, speaking the lesson to the people. The first portion of my lesson I opened up, I was sharing with the people that because you're unclean doesn't mean that you committed a sin. Uncleanness, because you come in a condition of uncleanness, doesn't mean that you have committed a sin, that you're guilty of sin. And one of the things that we brought forward was the woman, when she has her menstrual cycle, every 30 days or a little shorter than that, it's a little shorter than that, but every time she has her menstrual cycle, she's unclean. She's ritually unclean. Her menstrual flows, it's called a nida in the Greek, and she's spiritually, ritually unclean. You find that in the book of Leviticus, the 19th chapter. I think it starts at the 18th verse. When a man has intercourse with his wife, and the seed of copulation, semen, comes out from his body, it issues from his body, anything that semen gets on is unclean. Anything. But that man hasn't committed a sin. Neither has that woman committed a sin. So to be unclean and relate that to sin is an error. So if your teachers are teaching you this, then these are some of the scriptures that you can utilize to share with them that they're in error and it's not correct. Okay? We're going to ask you a few questions again, as I spoke before. I'm going to ask you a few questions all over again for you to ask and try to ask yourself. And I'm going to read these questions again because they're very important questions. You as a Hebrew Israelite, as a servant of the Creator, you should have an answer to these things. These are the type of things you should ponder on sometimes. It says, what do you expect from the Most High? By you living your life, making the sacrifices you make, calling yourself a Hebrew Israelite, calling yourself a servant of the Creator, what do you expect in turn for the Most High to do for you in your life? And what do you demand from the Creator through your actions and lifestyle? How you live your life day to day is how the Most High will bring blessings or curses upon your life. So what is it through your actions that determines how the Most High is going to bring either curses or blessings in your life that you do? Basically, are you living a good, clean, wholesome life with your integrity in place? Or are you living a shady, underhanded, deceitful life? Not lying to yourself because you know what you're doing and just committing evil. And then if you're living that kind of life, then you can't expect the Most High to do so much for you in your life. It'd be very difficult. But you have to be real with yourself. What was the reason why the Creator chose you from all people in the earth? He could have chosen anybody. He could have chosen your neighbor and left you laying asleep. Left you on the streets doing drugs, being a whoremonger, giving your body to all types of people, men, women, doing all type of evil acts, eating pork, the swine's flesh, the camel, doing all type of evil things. But the Most High chose you. Why? Then ask yourself, are you living for that reason today? The reason that you feel the Most High chose you, are you living for that reason today? You have to ask yourself that question, because that's a very important question, which a lot of us don't pay attention to. A lot of us just live life and let the chips fall where they may. But I'm here to tell you that you can orchestrate the chips. You can cause the chips to fall in a certain direction, in a certain order. It all has to do with your behavior and how you conduct yourself, what you live by, in your mind first, and then bring it out for your actions. You can orchestrate how those chips fall in your life. You can determine whether calamity will be a part of your life on a daily, or blessings and acceleration will be a part of your life on a daily. You can determine those things. The other thing that I was speaking about was how a lot of women today, and I want to say women because it's primarily women. Some women, not a lot of women, but some women are falling away from this truth and gravitating toward things like Egyptology, Islam, and for whatever reason, we don't know. But one main reason why women do this, and people, is because the person that they put their trust in showed not to be worthy of their trust. They misguided them. This teacher, or whomever it was, misguided them and didn't put the principles of Torah behind them. They gave them their interpretation, their opinion. And then a lot of men who get these women into this way of life, and they be gung-ho, the women be gung-ho. And we say it's all about Torah, but then we do the opposite of Torah and not live our lives according to the teachings that we profess was a true way for a man to live by. We cause the women to be confused. And we cause a lot of women to say, y'all full of it, I'm out. A lot of people use the person who is closest to them in this way of life to determine the tenets of this law of a Hebrew Israelite. Like, for a man who came into this way of life, usually that man would take and learn the principles of this from his woman. Then he'll go to other men, learn from other men, and he'll gravitate toward one man some way or another. And usually that man dictates the whole realm of how a Hebrew is supposed to live for him. But then when he sees this man going against the same principles and teachings that he taught was valuable in order for you to be right with the Creator, when he sees that same man going against those principles, sometimes he loses focus and hope, and he falls off by the wayside. And what I'm saying to you, family, is that you can't allow your relationship with the Creator to be determined by the actions of another individual. Now, I know personally that a lot of us have received some teachings that are not accurate. And we're going to deal with those teachings one by one in the future. Can't get them all right now. So I'm sharing with you some of these things right now that you need to deal with. And like my brother brought out earlier, Yeshaya, he says, you can walk away from being a Hebrew Israelite, practicing a Hebrew Israelite, but you can never walk away from your nationality of a Hebrew Israelite. So you can practice any religion under the sun that you want. You're going to always be a Hebrew. Once you come into the knowledge of your identity, who you are as a Hebrew, the Creator don't bind you and say, hey, don't move. I mean, he tells you, but he allows you the will to go do what you want to do. Okay? So what I mean by that is you have the freedom of choice. Nobody can't force you to stay. Man, I submit that you do the same thing to your woman or your nashim. Do not force them to stay in a situation that they don't feel comfortable with. Give them that freedom to go. Because if they choose to stay, then they'll serve you better. They'll be better. You have a better relationship. Your whole circle will be filled with positivity as opposed to remorse and negativity. she wants to go, let her go. All right? So let's start. Nehemiah, the first chapter.
Now nobody else want to read.
No, you read, please.
All right. Well, my eyes is terrible. Are you ready?
I've been ready.
All right. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah. Now it came to pass in the month of Chislev. Is that it?
Just move.
Chislev. In the 20th years, as was in Shushan.
Shushan. Do we know what Shushan is? Do you remember the story of when the southern kingdom, the northern kingdom was taken into captivity, a lot of them went into Shushan to live. And if you're familiar with the story of, what's that lady name who, her husband told her to come and she wouldn't come and he divorced her and took another wife, Hadassah. What's the name of that story? I just said her name. Her name is Hadassah, but in their name, it was Esther.
Oh.
The story of Esther.
Oh, the story of Esther.
Yeah, they lived in Shushan. Okay? Xerxes is the person that we're about to speak a little bit about. Read on.
Okay. The castle. The Hanani, the one of my brethren, came out of Judah, he and certain men, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped that captivity that were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. See, I can't.
So some people were still alive, left from the captivity or escape, and they went back to Jerusalem and they began to live a lifestyle. But remember, Jerusalem was sacked.
Okay.
It was destroyed. The king came in, destroyed it. It was all tore up. Now let's go back. The book of Daniels with the Medo-Persian Empire. The Medo-Persian Empire came in through one of the brothers, King Nebuchadnezzar's son. I believe it was, what was Nebuchadnezzar's son's name? It's slipping my mind right now. It was either his son or his grandson. I believe it was his son. When the handwriting on the wall came up in the handwriting on the wall, and then Daniel was called to interpret the handwriting, and he said, "You only got a few days," and then the next day or so, the Persian Empire came in, took over the empire. They took the people into captivity. Remember, Nebuchadnezzar had just taken our people there, and then he took the people and spread them out in his portions of the regions of the earth, because he was still in charge. And then his grandson is where we're hitting at in this portion right here, Xerxes. So let's read on.
And they say unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity, they're in the providence, are in the great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire.
It's almost as if you had a house, and your house was beat up and burnt up and tore up. So you had to move, because that's what happened to Jerusalem. We had to move. Let's grab a scripture real quick. Can you grab the scripture for me? 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter. Start at verse 13. 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter, verse 13.
If I shut up heaven, that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
He says, if my people would turn from their wicked ways, then, pray and seek my face, humble themselves, then I will turn from all the curses that I brought upon them, and I will heal their land and forgive their sin. So what happened to the land? Keep reading.
Now mine eyes shall be open, and my ears attent unto the prayer that is made in this place. For now have I chosen and sanctified this house, that my name may be there forever.
This is why we pray facing Jerusalem. Wherever you are in the earth, you pray, you turn toward Jerusalem. Just so happens that the United States, Jerusalem is toward the east. This is why we face the east when we pray. Because King Solomon made a prayer, and the Most High just responded and said, when people make their prayer toward this place, then I shall hear their prayer from heaven. More than likely he'll answer us. Read on a little bit more, please.
And mine eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. And as for thee, if thou wilt walk before me, as David thy father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded thee, and thou observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of my kingdom, according as I have covenanted with David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man to be ruler in Israel. But if ye turn away and forsake my statutes,
If you turn away and you forsake the laws of the Most High,
and my commandments,
which we know our people did, then all those things he spoke, the reverse shall happen. We shall go into captivity. And this is what happened leading up to this time in this place right now where we are. Mm-hmm. At this point, some of us, who was a remnant from captivity, was still left behind. Nehemiah was the cupbearer in Xerxes' kingdom. Okay? Darius has already made a decree years ago to let the children of Israel go back to the land and build the land up. Darius had already put it in place. Darius comes in the 45th chapter of Isaiah, where the Most High calls Darius his anointed. You see what that means? Darius, my anointed. He anointed a Gentile to help or be a Moshiach for the nation of Israel. Darius had already set up and established a way, a decree for us to go back into the land after captivity and rebuild up the land. Read on, please.
And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept, and mourned certain days. And I fasted and prayed before the Elohim of heaven.
What happened when he got sad? What do you do when calamities fall in your life? When the bill collector's coming, he's ringing your phone, you can't get what you need. You might have just got laid off, or you had to spend the money because your child needed it to do something. Whatever your situation, your problem may be. Your child just got hurt, your father, your husband, someone just got put in the hospital, somebody got the corona, somebody in the bed can't move. What's the first thing you do? See, because Nehemiah, when he heard how bad of a situation his brothers and sisters was experiencing, what did Nehemiah do? What was the very first thing Nehemiah did?
He wept first.
He wept. He showed those emotions. It meant something to him.
From the rest.
Now, you hear about your brothers and sisters doing bad. What's the first thing you do? Oh, man, they must be sinning before the Creator. That's the Most High wrath. Nehemiah was a true Hebrew. He understood how, when the Most High says, when the calamity befalls your brother, don't laugh at him, don't mock him, don't make fun of him. His pain should be your pain. You should be hurting for your people. But the first thing we do today, oh man, that brother over there, he was crooked anyway, man. This brother wasn't right. I ain't messing with the brother. We do all types of things against each other to hold each other back. Nehemiah didn't do such a thing. He cried. He felt that pain of his brother. And this is the level where I'm trying to take you to, Israel. You have to return back to the ways of old. I believe that's Jeremiah 6:16. Return back to the old path, for in that path your feet shall find delight. What that mean? Hold on to the ancient customs and traditions of our forefathers. And what that meant was, throughout history, up until a more recent time, I would say up into the 70s, our people were united. My mother used to tell me stories about when she was little. If you cut up down the street, the neighbor down the street would beat you and send you home to your mama. Today, if the neighbor down the street beats you, what do we do? We can know the neighbor. We can be hanging out with the neighbor. But what will we do? Immediately, don't you put your hands on my child. We go out with the guns and the knives. Oh, it's a big war now. We left the traditions of our forefathers. We left that tight-knit family. We have to return back to it, family. This is what I'm trying to share with you. Do you know that in the old days, it's just this real? Do whatever you got to do, but try to return back to these ways. In the old days, if my wife wasn't home, car broke down, on a journey somewhere, 30, 40 miles away, I don't have a car. She left the baby with me and I ran out of milk. If the sister next door has a baby and she's breastfeeding, I could go next door, knock on her door, and say, "Hey sis, can you take care of my child for me to my mom, to her mom, his mom, or whoever, till my wife gets back because I don't have any more milk."
Mm-hmm.
It would never be even a question of thinking twice. But today, with so much disease out here, you never know who got what. You never do. I don't know, because I haven't done the research, if diseases can be passed through breast milk. I would only assume that it can. You have an answer?
What the thing is, you can't really trust what other women are putting in their bodies.
Right.
Because alcohol can go through the breast milk. If you're taking any type of drugs, medications, all that can go through the breast milk. So that's why, I mean, I'm all for that, as long as I know that that woman is righteous and not putting
That's
poisons
why,
in her body.
But
So
that's
That's what
why
I'm
it's so
saying.
important that we build this community.
yeah.
See, it's all leading to one thing: build community. Where you have like-minded brothers and sisters around you 24/7. That you can build this type of bond that we're talking about right now. My baby don't have no milk, I can take it next door to my brother's house, and my brother's wife will feed my child and don't think twice about it. In a community where, when I lock my door and walk out my house, and I need something off the dresser for somebody that's coming to pick something up, I can call my brother or my sister and say, "Yo, can you go in my house because they already got keys?" That's what I'm talking about. In the old days, that's how it used to be. These are the types of things we need to return back to. We must. And if we don't, we got a problem. Because we got too many enemies supplanted within us to try to destroy us and to prevent us from returning back to the ways of old. Read on, please.
Okay, where am I? And said, "I beseech thee, O Yah, the
First
Elohim."
thing he did was cry for his brother.
Yeah.
And then what did he do after he cried?
He prayed.
He went to the Most High. So when you get that bad news about your loved one, your family member, first thing you might do is show an emotion. But after that emotion, you got to cry and go to the Most High. You put your matter before the Almighty. Most people think that they're going to figure it out themselves. I'm telling you, don't even try to figure it out. Let the Most High do the thinking. Read on.
I beseech,
Or figure it out after you make prayer.
right.
Go ahead, Doc.
I beseech thee, O Yah, the Elohim of heaven, the great and awful Elohim. I shouldn't say that. Okay. That keepeth the covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments.
Let thy ear now be attentive to thy, and thy eyes open, that thou mayest hearken unto the prayers of thy servant. Does it sound like he's asking for permission? He's saying, "Please, Creator, I'm coming before you. Please hear my prayers and my pleas." He's asking the Most High to allow him to approach him. Something else that we have lost in this way of life. We have no respect for the Creator. We have no honor for him. When we go before the Most High in prayer, how many of us really ask the Most High for permission to approach him? Very few. We just arrogantly walk. "Yeah, Creator, what's up, man? Yeah, I messed up last night, Creator. I know, man. I know I messed up. She had it going on, Creator. I'm sorry." We treat the Creator like any old thing. We show no reverence to this King. And that's what we must do. When you go before the Most High, you ask him for permission to approach him before you just start praying. Because you might not be in his best light right now. He might shut you down and cut you down. And it just may be, if it's that way, and you ask him, you just may hear him say, "No, don't come right now." You just may hear that. So give him time to respond to you before you start opening your big mouth. Read on, please.
Thy servants will I confess the sins of the children of Israel, which have sinned against thee. Yea, I and my father's house have sinned.
Who said?
He.
He never said he was perfect. Too many of us are perfect in every way. We too busy worried about where somebody else is messed up. what somebody else has done wrong, but we don't never see what we have done to be imperfect. Yes?
Granted, the other day I was saying, I don't like the way this is going on. And I'm speaking about a brother or whatever. And then I hung up the phone and I was like, yo, I'm raggedy as a bowl of yak myself.
There you go.
Why am I even on this phone?
See, this is the type of thing.
But that's what you got to check yourself.
You gotta check
before you make that call and then get a text string with 12 other people.
Exactly.
Put the phone down and be like, yo, what did I handle that
That's
right?
how you know when your mind is elevating toward the Creator.
Yeah.
When you can actually check yourself from a situation that you just made an error in. A lot of people can't check themselves. You see? Read on, please. But he prayed not just for himself, but for his household, his family, his lineage. Read on, please.
All right, 7. We have dealt very corruptly against thee.
We have done what?
Dealt very corruptly against thee.
Anaknu. Anaknu means we. We, as a people, have dealt very corruptly with the Almighty. Are we still guilty of that today?
Of course.
Are we still guilty of that today? When are we going to get it right, Israel? When are we going to start living by our integrity, doing the very best we possibly can to please this king and stay in that condition? I know a brother, he goes out and does what he want to do. His problem is usually sex. He got an issue with sex.
Just got
Go out and do whatever he want to do, and they come back to me and talking about, man, I know. Fire, great, fall from the sky any moment. You say it in a joking manner, but you can't hear him. The Most High knows what the brother's saying. And it just may be one day he's going to joke around like that and say it, and a bolt of lightning going to tear him up. Pow! You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to step back and say he was a prophet. Get it together, bro. Get it together, because actually you're too valuable. If you know you're committing evil acts in your life, and the Most High don't remove you right away, that means you're valuable. He's trying to hold on to you and give you time to get yourself together. Believe me. Read on, please. Let's go.
We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the ordinances which thou didst command thy servant Moshe.
Remember.
Remember, I beseech thee, the word thou didst command thy servant Moses, saying, if ye deal treacherously, I will scatter you abroad amongst the peoples.
And where we at right now, family?
Abroad amongst the people.
And why are we here? Because we dealt
treacherously
treacherously with the Most High. So have we stopped dealing treacherously with the Creator? Have we stopped yet?
No.
So then why do we expect to go anywhere if we haven't changed our behavior yet? What we've done in Goshen is prepare a small sanctuary for those who are of a like mind, who want to keep this law of the Most High to the best of your ability while we're still here in captivity. Goshen isn't forever. It's a temporary thing. But at least the brothers and sisters that come through here will be taught about the ways of the Most High. Where you can walk down to the next person's house, they're eating as you eat. See, because you got to watch people's food that you eat. You can't just eat people's food. Just, oh, I know him, that's my brother. Come on, man, eat your... No. Behind closed doors, that brother's practicing idolatry. He thanking another deity, a deity for his food. So that means you're eating food that's been sacrificed to devils. And you're not supposed to eat those things. You understand me? Well, when you got a community that we're all, you can never know 100% of what nobody's doing, but you can usually tell through people's actions when you're that closely knit what's going on. You understand what I'm saying to you? So Goshen is being formulated so that we can have a place where like-minded Israelites can come and live. We got 250 acres of land down there. Come. There's a place for you. Read on that.
9. But if ye return unto me and keep my commandments and do them through your disperse, where in the uttermost parts of the heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and will bring them upon the place that I have chosen to cause my name to dwell there, which is the land. Okay. 10. Now these servants Now these are thy servants and thy people whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and thy strong hand.
Now these are thy servants and thy people that I have redeemed by thy great power and thy strong hand.
You read much better.
O Creator,
O Creator, I beseech thee, let thine ear be attentive to thy prayer and thy servant, and to thy prayer of thy servants, who delight to. I can't see.
who delight to fear thy name. He's
Thanks.
saying, Creator, let thy ear
Right.
be attentive toward the individual who has delight in fearing you. You walk through this life and you go, this is a burden, man. I don't want to do this. Man, I can't work on Saturday. I got to take off work on. Man, I don't want to keep doing this. I can't eat the thing, man. I like eating pork. It's a delicacy for me. I can't eat pork no. Man, I don't want to keep doing this. Every time a cycle come on, I got to separate myself from the temple. I can't go to worship. Oh, man, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be a Hebrew no more. Eventually, that's what happens. Your delight is not in the laws of the Almighty. You have to become so accustomed to this that it's like second nature to you. You know what second nature is? That's second nature. Breathing is second nature. So you have to learn to incorporate the teachings of the Most High in your lifestyle so deep that it becomes like second nature. Without even thinking about it, you're doing what you got to do. When you get up in the morning, these little things, your little fringes, well, I got different type of fringes on the day. But you know those little plug-in fringes? The little, you shouldn't even have to think twice about getting them on. You should already know not to leave the house unless I put them on. That's just an outward symbol that you are in accordance with the Creator's law. That lets other people see you, get to know you, and be like, yo, you're my brother, bro. Come here, give me some love. Yeah. Now, what's your name? That's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to get excited when you see another brother or sister with fringes on. Be like, yeah. Then you get to know them, you get to worship with them a little bit, you get to build that bond, you get to build that relationship, and then y'all got something good going on. Bro, I didn't even know you lived right across the street. But I saw your fringes and now I know. You see what I mean? You're supposed to have a delight in worshiping this King. It's supposed to be a delight, like a pleasure, like something you want to do. Not something, oh man, where them fringes at? Jimmy, go get them fringes. Becky, go get those fringes, Becky. No, because you really don't want to do it, you know what I mean? You're supposed to want to serve this King to the best of your ability. When you go shopping and you buy clothes, you got to be like, is this 100% natural fabric? It's got to be. If it ain't, you got to question whether you should wear it or not. You understand me? All right. Let's read on, please.
Where we at? What you took over?
Like 10?
10? We're at 11.
Okay.
Okay. O Yah, I beseech thee, let thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant, and to the prayer of thy servants who delight to fear thy name, and prosper. I pray thee, thy servant, this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man. Now I was a cupbearer to the king.
So he made all that prayer he made after he heard about what happened to Jerusalem.
Okay.
He made that prayer before he went to talk to the king. See, because he knew that he was going to need some help from the Creator to convince the king to give him what his desire was. But watch what happens. He goes and plays the role around the king. Watch how he played the king. Read on.
Nehemiah 2. And it came to pass in the month of Nisan.
Abib.
Okay. In the 20th years of Xerxes, the king, when the wine was before him, that I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time. Now I have not been before time sad in his presence. 2. The king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of thy heart. Then I was afraid. Then I was very sore afraid. 3. And I said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad when the city, the place of my fathers, sepulchres lying waste.
Now, he's crying because of Jerusalem
Okay.
is tore up. How many of us today feel that way?
I was kind of sad when they was rioting the other day.
In Jerusalem?
No, here in Philly.
He was sad when he was rioting the other day. Most of us don't cry for our hometown.
No, I do. I do.
We don't.
No.
If you do, you would do what you have to do to help it. See, Nehemiah ain't a talker. Nehemiah a doer.
I understand.
He went and played the king. He played sad in front of the king because he knew the king was going to pay attention to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he could open up the platform to say what he had to say. And then the Most High put the blessings and the wisdom upon the king to give Nehemiah what Nehemiah truly desired. Read on, please.
And the gates thereof are consumed with fire. Then the king said unto me, For what doest thou make request? So I prayed to the Elohim of heaven, and said unto the king.
See, he prayed again before he approached the king.
Okay.
He prayed again. How many of us do this type of thing before we go to court, before we go to the courtroom, before we open our mouths? How many of us pray for the Most High to instruct us properly so that the words that issue out of our mouth will be in the performance of us receiving what our spirits truly desire? How many of us? We take it upon ourselves and we think we're smart, we're just going to do it ourselves, or we hire a lawyer, and because we got a lawyer, we don't even put our trust in the Creator, we put our trust in that lawyer. You got to put your trust in the Most High for all things and everything, from the smallest thing to the greatest thing. Believe me. Read on.
And I said unto the king, If it pleases the king, and if thy servant have found favor in the sight, that thou mayest send me unto Judah, unto the city of thy father's sepulchre, that I may build it. 6. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, For how long shall thy journey be?
The king said, how long you going to need? How much leave time you need?
How many days? Okay.
Now, I want to bring out something special to this because a lot of people got a problem with this in this day and time. Mm-hmm. Nehemiah was living or working in the government. Mm. You understand? And that government wasn't a Hebrew Israelite government. It was a Persian government. A lot of people today say we shouldn't have government jobs. I'm going to say to you, you can have a government job. It's not a problem. It's not a violation of law, and it doesn't go against the practices and the customs of our people. You can have a government job. It's what you do with that job that makes the difference. If you utilize that job to destroy and tear down and hold back your people, then yes, we have an issue with that. But if you're using that job to help build up your people by going to work, making some money, and then donating a portion of that money to the family, to the people, and teaching the people to uplift them to righteousness, get that job and hold on to it as long as you can. That just may be your portion. Read on that.
Okay, yeah. For how long shall thy journey be, and when will thy return?
How much time you need, that's how much time do you need? Just tell me. Read on.
So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time. 7. Moreover, I said unto the king, If it please the king, let the letters be given to me. Let the letters be given me to the governors beyond the river, that thou mayest let me pass through till I come unto Judah. And a letter unto Asaph the keeper of the king's park, that they may give me timber to make beams for the gates of the castle, which are pertaineth to the house, and for the wall of the city, and for thy house that I shall enter into. That the king granted me according to the good hand of Elohim upon me.
Now, the thing is, the king didn't just tell him to go back and do it, use your own money. The king actually said, I'm going to make a way so you can actually do it. Mm-hmm. You can actually utilize wood from my forest and build up the gates. That was a wonderful thing. Okay. So the Most High really touched the king. Right. Read on.
Then I came to the governors beyond the river, and they gave me the king's letters. Now the king has sent me captains and an army of horsemen. And when it's what's that, Sanballat?
Yeah.
Sanballat, the Horite, and Tobiah, the servant, the Amorite, heard of it in grieving.
Sanballat, Bramblebush, enemy in secret. Now, this lesson get ready to come alive.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sanballat is the enemy in secret.
Sanballat's the enemy.
Enemy in secret. Horonites, men of anger, of fury, of liberty. Tobiah, the Lord is good. The Creator is good. Sanballat, enemy in secret. Horonite, men in anger. Now pick up where you left off.
Okay. The Amorite heard of it. It grieved them exceedingly, for there was come a man seeking welfare for the children of Israel.
Now, these people got angry because somebody was coming to Jerusalem to see what's going on with the Most High's chosen people. Do you think for a minute that this country is not going to get angry when we start unifying and coming together? When we start doing some real power moves, like Goshen,
I would say.
all over the country? When we start doing this real Israelite awakening and unifying and working together and coming together, they're not going to like that. Oh, they already don't like it. So what they do is they put little sleepers in the midst of us. People who pretend to be Israel and are not. They come in and they devise a plan to really cause separation because they see the development that we're, or the progression that we're doing. Let me tell you this. The enemy works on a spiritual level. The enemy uses black magic to do what he do. So that vessel that the enemy is utilizing may not even know that the enemy is utilizing him or her. Because they put that spirit upon them for whatever it is that they're doing. This person will come in the midst and cause separation, tear it down, hurt the family, hurt the structure, and then they're off. They go back to where they were. Watch it, because that's what they do. When they're satisfied, they cause enough mischief, it's time for them to pack up and roll so they can go do mischief somewhere else. That's what they'll do. They'll come in the midst of an organization, a well-structured organization, and tear it up from the inside out. You see, what's his name? Sanballat, enemy in secret. Sanballat. Read on out. Let's see. Let's try.
My place.
He lost his place.
Me and this phone.
Go around 11.
No. 11. So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. And I arose in the night. And
I had a few men with me.
Neither told I any man what my Elohim put in my heart to do for them Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, saying, save the beasts that I rode upon.
He didn't trust nobody.
Even a beast?
He didn't trust nobody. See, you got to be real careful. When you're out here working for the Almighty, Sanballat will appear in the least likely of people. This is why when you come to Goshen, we have an application process that you have to fill out, send in, so you can get clearance. Because Sanballat isn't always coming to destroy and separate. Sometimes Sanballat might be coming in to destroy people's lives. Sometimes you get murderers, you get rapists, you get all type of people, whoremongers, all type of things coming in the midst of you that have been in jail, been incarcerated for different things. You don't know that. But Israel is so gung-ho and so happy. As soon as somebody say, I'm an Israelite, we open it, hey, bro, come on, we cool. And that person can be Sanballat, an enemy in secret. And you won't know because they do almost everything right, And you think, we cool. That's my bro. That's my sis. And that person ain't nothing but Sanballat. So we run the application, the screening process, in prayer that the Most High will reveal to us some things that he may need to reveal. Although it's not perfect, it's a way of showing you that we care about your safety and your security. You had a question?
I got a question. Alongside this. I mean, we personally have known brothers that were all good. You know, you watched them grow. You watched them come into Israel. But at some point, they went left. A spirit came upon them. And they did some hideous things that we're not going to speak about on the Shabbat. But sometimes it's a spirit that comes over, brother. And I don't care how much you wrote down on a piece of paper did his background check or do whatever, at some point something just clicks on them, and then they're just not the person that you thought they were,
Well,
and then now they're doing a 10.
that's real
15.
simple.
I'm listening.
You know why it's like that?
Yeah.
Because these people didn't live in a community, a tight-knit community. If we lived in a tight-knit community where the only spirit that was governing that community was the Spirit of the Almighty, chances are those things wouldn't happen. Like the brother you mentioned, that brother left the way of life of a Hebrew. He became Muslim. He took on his Muslim identity and lived as a Muslim for several years. And then shortly thereafter, the Most High allowed that calamity to come in his life for a reason. For a reason. Not that it always has to be that way.
Yeah, but that was an
It
extreme,
doesn't have to
is what I'm
always
saying.
be,
Yeah.
no, that was a common thing. A lot of people, it happens like that. But the point I'm trying to make is, if we lived in a tight-knit community where brothers love brothers, and I mean brothers love brothers. I ain't talking that stuff. I'm talking real love. Real love. See, because real love is when I want for you what I want for me. So if I see your child without, that's now my problem. That's my child. I got to deal with that to try to build him up or build her up so that he will be on the same level as my own child if I have one. You follow me? That's real love. Not this old fairy tale stuff, really mushy. Yo, bro, I love you, bro. And then you talking about that brother behind his back to another brother. That's not love.
Wow.
That's evil. That's the realities of our lives. That's where Israel are today. But if we had a community that was structured off of real love, loyalty and devotion to the Most High King and Him alone, nobody can touch us. You know what? Because we're putting our minds together on one accord to bring about greatness. And if we can do that, which we're already doing in Goshen, the brothers in Goshen, we rock, we move, we strong. We get it in. You know, we went through little hard times in the beginning to get everybody, to fill everybody out, to weed everybody out. The Most High did it. We didn't have to do it. But here we are at a place right now where order has been established. A structure has been in place. Brothers and sisters know what's expected of them. And this isn't the end. It's going to get even more tighter and better, and more structure will become to take place. These things will formulate themselves even stronger. But as we grow, as the people come, and as the Most High puts His blessings upon us, everything will fall in place. Because the foundation is strong. And as long as the foundation is strong, chances are you won't have those problems. When you can cast judgment upon your own family member like you do the person next door, you know that you're on the right path. Too many people, oh, that's my son. Oh, I know he did wrong, but he's my son. We're going to let that slide. Oh, no, that ain't the way it goes. If your son raped, molested, stole, embezzled, and I know you know what I'm talking about, then you deal with that as if he's a stranger. You don't show partiality and be like, oh yeah, I know what he did, but that's my son, man. We can't. No. Your son did evil in the sight of the Creator, and he should be dealt with appropriately. A lot of leaders, a lot of so-called leaders don't have that type of discipline when that discipline needs to become, to be cast down and judgmental on their own blood. They'll do it with your child, or your child, or your child, or your child, but they won't do it with their own child. There's exceptions to the rule when it's their child, and that's evil. Or let it be somebody close to them that they really favor. That's evil. Let's get back to the scripts, please.
All right, 13. And I went out by night by the valley gate, even towards the dragon's well, and the dung gate, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof consumed with fire. 14. Then I went out to the fountain gate, to the king's pool, but there was no place for a beast that was under me to pass. 15. Then went I up to the night Then I went up in the night in the valley and viewed the wall, and turned back and entered by the valley gate, and so returned. And the rulers knew not where I went, or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor the priests, nor the nobles, nor the rulers, nor the rest that the work that I did. Then I said unto them, Ye see Ye see the evil case that were in Jerusalem. Neither life waste the gates thereof, are burned with fire. And let us build up the walls of Jerusalem.
Let us build this city. Nehemiah is coming to the people saying, hey, let us do this. Let us get on one accord, set our minds in the right direction, and build Goshen. And build many little Goshens all in the area so that we can all work together and have a great, strong community. You can have a Goshen in Arkansas. You can have a Goshen in Texas. You can have a Goshen in Mississippi. You can have a Goshen in Virginia. You can have a Goshen in Hawaii. But they all work together. They're all in one accord, working together for the betterment of the nation of Yisrael. Not on an individual level, but for the nation. What does that mean? That means if I got a Knesset here, and you have a Knesset over there, my Knesset is in order and yours is dilapidated, then the proceeds that we collect on that Shabbat for quite a while should go toward your Knesset to get your Knesset where it needs to be. That's what it means when you're working together. That's what it is. You understand what I'm saying? This is the type of connections that we have to begin to make. But a lot of people ain't going to do it until they see you doing it first. So that's how you have to do it. Being in a position of leadership, these are the types of things that you must do to teach others how to do and be and produce great things. Read on, please.
Let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we no more be a reproach.
Let's build up the walls of Jerusalem, that we will no more be of a reproach. A reproach is an embarrassment. Read on.
Okay. 18. And I told them of the hand of Elohim which was good upon me, as also of the king's word that he had spoken unto me.
He told them of the word of Elohim that was good upon him. What do you think he's saying to them?
First of all, he's saying, the Creator ordained this, and it's cool. The king is cool with it. So, number one, he's saying, but he's saying the Creator blessed this. And if you're scared, the king said it's cool. It's not going to be we can do this. You understand what I'm saying? Because some people, if you just come to somebody and say, this is Torah, we can do this. And they're like, what did the white man say? You know what I'm saying? You're going to need two verifications from some Israelites before you move on something. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what I see in that line right there.
How about you, sis? What you think? The hand of the Creator was upon me, and he told the people. Very good, Yeshua.
That the Most High came into him and had him tell the people what he said, what he wanted to tell them.
Now, that's what I got out of it. That's what I got out of it. Exactly what you just said. That the Most High came to him and told him what to tell the people and what to do. And he went and did it. And the first thing he said was this. He didn't claim himself to be a prophet. He said, this is what the Most High said for me to do. Now, if a brother came to you today, you know what you're going to tell that brother. Prove it to me. Show it to me. If the Most High didn't do it, it's not going to prosper. If what he said was what the Most High said, let's walk in that direction and see what's up. And if we start walking and we see it's not prospering, and that lets us know the Most High didn't have anything to do with it, brother. You false, get out of here. I'm telling you, the Most High said for us to put this thing in motion and make it happen. And we're doing it. And it's prospering at the Most High's hand. If you don't want to be a part of it, that's fine. You can't make somebody walk when they don't want to walk. If they're doubting, they're guessing, they're not sure, let them stay to the side till they make up their mind. But those that have that spirit are going to say, yo, Prince, how do I get in? Here's my application, Prince. Come on, let's get this thing cracking. What I'm saying, family, is that anything that you set up, somebody's going to doubt it. And also, you're going to have somebody there that may be on the inside working as a Sambalot to destroy all your accomplishments. Somebody ain't going to like it. They're going to be there trying to make it happen so that you won't be as successful as the Most High said you're going to be. You can't let that person get in your head and turn you away from the Almighty and the mission that the Most High has placed you on. Yes?
The way I always looked at it was, when the Most High put it on somebody to tell us something, tell the people something, those who take heed are the ones that the Most High chose for that purpose. And the people who don't, it was like they weren't going to benefit, as they weren't going to, they weren't going to do his instructions the way he wants those instructions to be done.
It's very good. Sometimes it ain't that person's time yet, although they will be a part of it and later, it just ain't their time. But the thing that I wanted to bring notice to is that one who will come along and say, hey, I'm with it, but they have evil intentions.
Yes.
You see what I mean? They say, hey, Prince, let's go, I'm with it, here's my application, let's get started. But they're really there to bring contention, to bring evil and negativity. I pray the Most High protects you and protects us from those type of Sanballat. Read on out.
Let us rise up and build.
Tell us where you are.
Oh, I'm on 18.
Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 18.
Yeah, halfway down.
Read on.
Let us rise up and build.
Let us do what?
Let us rise up and build.
Let us rise up and build. Something else that Israel has a problem with. In order for us to rise up and build anything, that means that we have to come together and work on one accord. We have to have a consensus. We got to move out together as a people and not as an individual. Read on, please.
So they strengthened their hands.
They did what?
They strengthened their hands.
They came together.
Mm-hmm.
They worked together. They did what they had to do to make sure that the unity was tight. Mm-hmm. Read on.
So they strengthened their hands for the good work. 19.
But then, when they strengthened their hands, the enemy within rose up. Read on.
19. But when Sanballat the Horite and Tobiah the servant, the Amorite, and the Gesem,
the Arabian,
and the Arabian heard of it, they laughed. They laughed us to scorn.
Now,
and despised us.
The Ammonites and the Horites and Arabians are all enemies of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
All of them, you are forbidden to marry them.
Mm-hmm.
These are not your people. Okay? Saul was told to go and destroy who? The Ammonites. Mm-hmm. He was told to kill all of them. And he didn't follow the Creator's commands. So some of the Ammonites or Amalekites, they made it through. They came up against. A lot of them are still here today. There'll be the Sanballat in the midst of Israel talking about shalom, shalom, talking about their Hebrew, but they're really there. Their spirit is about division and separation. You know how you can tell them sometimes? If every time you talk to them, their speech is on negativity. I mean, they're just a negative person. Oh, really, I didn't like Prince anyway because, I seen his fringes and they was purple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his fringe, who do you think he is? He's the king of Israel? Yeah. But that's how they do, you know what I mean? That's how they rock. And what do? We feed right into it. Yeah, I don't really like him either, man. Why? Oh, I don't know. I just don't really like him. I don't like the way the brother talk. I don't like the way when the brother be teaching and he stand up there and put his hands in his pocket and still be teaching. And then the brother down there with that land in Goshen, I heard that such and such was going on down there, and this was, I've had this happen. So everything that I'm saying to you is real. Sanballat will get in the midst of you and try to destroy every hopes that you have of bringing about unity and edification and uplifting the nation. Sanballat. And Sanballat works when he tries to get other people on his team. He don't just go by himself. He got to get 3, 4, 5. And sometimes Sanballat will get the people that's closest to you to try to turn them away from you. And if you two are not wise enough to see Sanballat when he comes and when he raises his ugly head, everything you strove for so many years will be destroyed. Overnight. Because Sanballat, that spirit is an ancient spirit. The spirit didn't just start. It's an ancient spirit that's been around for years. So it takes hold of whoever will allow it to take hold of. And it'll work from the inside out and destroy what you guys have worked so many years to build. It attacks trust. It attacks loyalty. It attacks you with the thoughts of the mind. Read on, please.
They laughed us to scorn and despised us and said, what is this thing that ye do, will you rebel against the king? 20.
Had to find something negative. Are you going to go against the king? They don't even know the king sent it.
Sent it, right.
We don't, please.
Then answered I them, and said to them,
What did he say to him? Did he mention the king? He mentioned the real king. Watch what he said.
the Elohim of heaven.
Who?
The Elohim of heaven.
Who?
The Elohim of heaven.
The real king. Go ahead.
He will prosper us.
He will prosper us. That's what you got to tell Sanballat when he come in and raise his ugly head. Say, yo, put your trust in the Creator. Huh? Say something positive when he comes with something negative. Don't feed into his BS because you're going to be just like him. Don't feed into it. Oh, them brothers over there, they this, them brothers over there, they that. Yo, if they walk in the truth of the Most High, he's going to cause their hands to prosper. Sanballat will look back and say, well, he got to find a whole new angle to try to destroy. I'm saying this whole lesson, family, because I want you to do this. What we're doing, we're speaking about your own personal life. I blew it up as a nationalistic thing to show you how we're doing in Goshen, but I want you to look individually as an individual. Sanballat will be in the midst of you. When you determine you're going to take this walk, and you're serious about this walk, Sanballat will come as a Hebrew Israelite. And will try to, oh man, don't listen to them teachings over there, man. Or don't watch them brothers over there. What you do is you use the law to determine if this thing is in righteousness or not. And a lot of you are spiritually motivated where you can feel the presence of a creator-fearing man or a creator-fearing woman. You know the difference. But Sanballat will be in your own household. Your husband, your wife, your sister, your brother, even your mother or father can be a Sanballat. You have to learn how to balance the difference, because sometimes you may live in your mother's house. You may live in your father's house, or both your parents, and they're really against you in your walk, in your journey. You might have had to take your 3 or 4 children and go back home to their house because the man you had as your head failed you. Or you may have done something silly. You got divorced. You had to go back home. And instead of that man doing a righteous thing, is taking his children, and he raised his children, although he don't want to be with you no more, he leaves the children on you like a weak man. Like a weak man. So you got to return back home to your mother's or father's house with your 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, children. So you're under their roof now, and you're trying to serve the Creator, but they are a Christian, or they are some other stuff, Muslim, or anything. They're anti the Creator. So everything you do is getting scrutinized. The negativity is coming on strong. If your way of life was real, then that man wouldn't have treated you like that. That man was just a bad representative of the nation of Israel. That's all. He was just a bad representative. Don't hold it against the nation for the actions of one. Don't give up on the Most High because a man let you down. Read on, please.
The Elohim of heaven, he will prosper us.
The Elohim of heaven, he will prosper us. Come back with something positive when Sanballat comes with something negative. And I'm warning you, be on the phone talking to people on the phone. They're going to try you. They're going to come up with something negative. Oh, I don't want to work for that prince. That brother don't want to pay me when I'm supposed to get paid. And ask him, how much he owe you, bro? Oh, he don't owe me. Then why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? Now ask him, how much do you owe Prince? Oh, yeah, but see, I can owe him because he rich anyway. That's not right. That's not right. But they are quick. Sanballat is quick to try to tear you down. When they say something negative, come back with something positive. Sanballat said, oh man, you're going against the king. Nehemiah could have said, well, I got the king's decree. No, he said, he talked to the Creator of heaven and said, the Most High will call us to prosper. Something positive. That was so positive, he shut Sanballat down for a minute. Read on, please.
Therefore, we his servants will arise and build.
We his servants, those who the Most High has called to this, we will arise and we will build. So we're not upset if you don't come. If you're not a part of it, then it ain't what meant for you. But I'm extending the opportunity to you because you just may be the people. Read on.
But ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem. That's it.
Say it again.
I'm back to
But ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem, because they have that different nationality. And Jerusalem belongs to us. Read on.
oh, that's it. I'm
Now,
at
I want you to read a little bit of 3. We're going to go down to verse 3, on 3, and then we're going to stop and go to chapter 4.
Okay, 3 and 3. And the fish gate did the sons of
3 and 1.
3 and 1.
Alright,
You
3
told me
and 1.
3 and 1. Okay. I gotta get back up. Okay, 3 and 1. And what's that? Eliashib, the high priest, rose up with his brethren, the priests, and they built the sheep gate and sanctified it.
Even the priesthood was working.
Okay.
Everybody had came together. If you read the 3rd chapter, it's going to go all the way down and tell you all the people who began to do what? Began to build, began to work together as one people with one accord. Last Shabbat service, we were in Goshen and we taught out of the book of Genesis. And we spoke about Genesis, the 11th chapter, how the people came together on one accord and put their minds to something, and the Creator saw, sent his angels down, and the angel said, or the Creator said, whatever they put their mind to, they can do. There is no limitations to what they can accomplish. So he caused confusion in our speech. That confusion in our speech was a lot to do with our minds and how we see each other, how we view each other. And if we can reverse this, because the Most High said we could, if we return back to him, all that will reverse. So if we can reverse the way that we see each other first, stop seeing each other as an enemy. Stop seeing each other as a user. Stop seeing each other as a manipulator. Stop thinking that each other has an ulterior motive when they really come into your life or come into your plan to try to make something positive happen. We have been given these traps by the adversarial forces that have been in control of us for so many years. Let's give them back their traps. Because these are the things that hold up our progression. The how we see each other is a problem. Right now, we saw each other the way that we were supposed to. Everybody came together, worked together, took their portion, and executed with precision. It's going to get so bad that we're going to be standing on a wall with a brick in one hand and a sword in the other hand, just so we can fight off the enemies as the enemies are coming. But we were all on one accord, so we got it done. Read on, please. Go down to verse 3 and then go to chapter 4.
Okay. And the fish gate did the sons of Hassenaah build. They laid the beams thereof, and they set upon the doors thereof, and the bolts thereof, and the bars thereof. And unto the next unto them repaired Meroth. Be rare. Say that.
I don't see that.
I'm on 4.
Merari?
You told me to drop down to 3, and I started. I did 3.
Forget it. Go to chapter 4, please. Start chapter 4, verse 1.
I'm listening to you, boss.
You're not listening to me. You heard some words, but you didn't listen. I said stop at 3. But go ahead. Go to chapter 4.
I'm on 4.
All right. Go ahead, read, please.
We're gonna hire a professional reader.
One day.
One
And
day.
the Creator continues to bless us.
All right.
Chapter 4, verse 1. Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 1.
Okay. But it came to pass that when Sanballat...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go to chapter 3, verse 33. Start there. Verse 33. Nehemiah chapter 3, verse 33. Please forgive me.
This time.
Okay, thank you. Turn it down.
All right. Let me... I'm on...
You said 33.
Nehemiah chapter 3, verse 33.
It only goes to 32 on mine.
Yep, that's what I got.
All right. What you got?
I got 32.
All right, what's your 4 and 1 say?
My 4 and 1 has 3:33. My 4 and 1 says, but it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that
That's
we built the
33 in
wall.
my book.
Okay,
That's what I
cool.
want you to- Go ahead.
All right, 33. But it came to pass when Sanballat heard that we built the wall he was wroth and took great indignation and mocked the Jews.
He got mad.
Yeah.
Sanballat ain't gonna like it when you see progression within you as an individual. You starting to pray on time. You starting to change all your bad behaviors. You stop smoking those cigarettes. You stop sleeping with all these men. And for the men, you stop having sex with all these women.
There you go.
You stop getting these oral jobs in the back of your car.
Oh my
You
goodness.
put down the drugs. So these are real. These are real issues.
This guy.
Real issues. Because a lot of people don't think they got a problem, and they do. We put down the weed. We put down the cigarettes. For a lot of sisters, we took off the wig. We took off the eyelashes. We took off the makeup. And we got raw with the Most High. Well, what they got to do with anything, Prince? Well, when you cover yourself up, it's because you're not happy or pleased with who you really are. You understand that? So a lot of people, a lot of women who want to try something else, it means that they're not satisfied with who they are. So they'll put some dye in their hair, they'll put some makeup on their face, or they'll put those long eyelashes as if the Creator made a mistake when he gave them eyelashes and they weren't long enough. So that's all I'm saying. You have to be comfortable with who you are and who the Most High made you. Sisters put those waves in their hair because some of them be having hair. They just don't feel like doing it. And they think that it's okay, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should never camouflage who you really are. Because when you do it on the outside, your inside becomes very similar to that camouflage. Read on, please.
Okay. And he spoke before his brethren and the army of Samaria, and said, What do these feeble Jews? What do these feeble Jews? Will they restore at will? Will they sacrifice? Will they make? And in this day, will they revive the stones out of the heaps of rubbish, seeing that they are burned? 3.
Now, what business is it of theirs? What we do to reestablish what belongs to us. Sanballat, the enemy within. Read on.
Now Tobiah the Amorite was with them and said, Even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall break down their stone wall.
So what he's saying?
It's weak.
He's saying even if they do come together, they're going to build weak products. Even if Goshen does come together,
They ain't building right.
they ain't building that. It's going to be weak. That means somebody like them can come in and tear us right down.
Okay.
But people now say, I want to move. No, we're not having that. Goshen is going to be built strong. But now, look at your temple. How are you building your structure, your personal self
Personal.
with the Creator? Can a Christian come up to you real easily and say, such, and all of a sudden you want to be a Christian? A Muslim? A Hindu? A Buddhist? Can they come up to you and say, such, see that? And you just turn today or tomorrow? So are you building your walls strong and fortified? Yes or no? The way you build your walls strong and fortified is not only by reading scripture. It's about applying the laws of the Most High in your life and being true to the Creator, living in your integrity. Fasting, praying, meditating, studying to show yourself approved. This is how you build up and fortify your temple, your personal wall. Okay? A lot of us don't do that. So as soon as the wind blows, we go along with the wind. But if you made your wall fortified in concrete with stone and rods, metal rods, it ain't moving. Long as your foundation is deep enough. Somebody had a story with me they wanted to tell me about a long time ago, and so I passed the story on to you. A bamboo shoot. There are certain bamboo shoots that will grow out of the ground and be like 5 feet tall. And then you have some bamboo shoots that will grow a lot taller than that, 11, 12, 15 feet tall. Then you have bamboo shoots that grow to be 60 and 70 feet tall. 45, I think, is the highest. And this is real. But when you see that bamboo shoot coming through the ground up top, it done already grew underground and you never even seen it. It's like 30 feet in the ground already before it starts to grow and become exceedingly large. You understand? The foundation had to be right. So what you seeing above the surface is just the surface. So when they see Goshen and they see we got 5 families, but yet we got enough room for 50 or 100 families, and they say, well, what's going on, man? They're not doing it. They're making no progress. You don't even see the progress. Because you are looking with the carnal eye. You're not looking at the spiritual development that's taking place behind the scenes, underneath of the surface, that's actually causing the foundation to take hold of the people as more come in. You don't see that. You're not wise enough to see that. The Most High hasn't made you privy to that. But don't come in as a samurai. Just don't do that. And watch that foundation shake. And when that foundation shake, all of Yisrael, you're going to be like, oh, we knew. We knew. If you knew, you would have been there. Read on, please.
Okay. Hear our Elohim, for we are despised, and turn back their reproach upon their own head, and give them up to spoiling in the land of captivity. And cover not their iniquity, and let not their sin be blotted out before thee, for they have vexed thee before the builders. So we build the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto half the height thereof.
All right, we're going to stop here, because Yeshaya just got me all over the place.
I'm sorry.
We built the wall, and all the wall was joined together, so we actually did it. We successfully built the wall, and the wall was joined together. Now, if you read down, you'll see where we were working out there with our swords. We had to put men on guard to protect us from Sanballat. Same thing in your spiritual journey, in your spiritual walk. People will attack you to try to knock you off your path. They will come at you. Some of them will come camouflaged as a lover. Some will come camouflaged as your parents. The majority of them come camouflaged as a friend. And they will do everything that they can to knock you off your path, because they see that what you got going on is a good thing. They don't have that good thing going on with the spirit that you have that good thing going on. You're a good person. You have a use. The Most High have a use for you in this way of life. You can help to elevate your people to a higher level, and you don't even know it. But this person's spirit, that ancient spirit within them, recognizes the spirit that's in you that's laying dormant. And they do whatever they have to do to prevent you from becoming your greatest, becoming your best. But the problem is that oftentimes you give in to those spirits, and you prevent you from being your best. I pray that the words of my speech that's touched your soul today, and that you understand what the purpose of this message was today. Sanballat attacks those who has decided to serve, to worship, to honor the Creator, and change their lives for the better. Sanballat is happy when you was living a life of a heathen, although you're Hebrew. He's happy when you do the things that common people do, as opposed to doing the things that righteous people do, even in your own mind. May the Most High be pleased. May the Most High accept all that we've done today as acceptable and pleasing in His sight. And may He bless it and cause you to get great understanding through these teachings to better you in your journey toward Him. May the Most High be praised forever and forever. Torah Rabbi.
Hallelujah.